We have been out to the farm here. This is going to be our 9th winter here, and when we come out here, we had, I've got a small herd of beef that I've been trying to get going. I raised some hogs. We used to have coyotes out here, and we started noticing that the coyotes were on a decline. At the same time, we started hearing stories about wolves in the area. The coyotes disappeared. We noticed the decline in fawns. That same summer, this was 4 years ago, we had sweet corn growing directly across the street. My wife took our 6-year-old grandson out there, and she came back in the house and wanted me to look at the dog tracks that were in the corn across the road. And I went out there, and they were obviously not dog tracks. They were very, very large tracks, and you could see where they were wolf tracks and where they had been chasing the deer. That following spring, raising Angus beef, I had one cow that was close to freshening, and where she was born out in the woods here. I came home from work one day and I went out to check on the cows, and of course there was one cow that was missing. She was out in the woods, and I go out there to check on her, and she was out there with what had remained of her calf that had been eaten, partially eaten, and what remained, I could tell, was a heifer calf. They ate the bones, the stomach, everything, and just had not completely consumed everything. At the time, I didn't know that I could report it to the DNR, that I should have reported it to the DNR or to the USDA, and so I was just angry. We continued to see wolves, and the wolf pack had continued to increase. Last year, we've seen a lot less fawns, and we've seen a lot more signs of wolves in the area. There was some deer that I had found that had been partially consumed or had been killed and eaten. There was deer predation. And then this spring, I came home from work. I had a cow that was close to freshening, and shortly after the big snowfall we had in April, I came home from work, and there was obviously something wrong with the cows. And I walked out, and right directly behind my barn, about 200 yards from my back door, there were wolves eating a calf, a newborn calf that had just been born. And I seen at least 3 of them. I did what anybody else do. I went running after them, screaming and hollering, and I didn't know what to do with them. By then I had known that I should contact the DNR. I contacted the local warden. He put me in contact with the USDA wildlife biologist, who immediately came out here, measured the wolf tracks, looked at the scene, and confirmed it was indeed a wolf kill. But he had to do it because I had, I'm not enough to verify that it was a wolf. Even though I know what a wolf is and a coyote is and a dog is. And so they made a report. They told me that they had seen, there was probably a couple of wolves. I later found out in the official report from you that it was more than just a couple of wolves is what they had reported. They told me they were going to be compensating me for my loss, but now this is the 2nd calf that I've lost. Out of my herd, now this would have been the 3rd head of beef that I lost. And people don't even know that all these animals are being killed, and that the state is compensating hunters and farmers for their losses. And thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it just really burns my backside. And then they drag their feet, and they tell me instead of an eradication of the wolves in the area, that I cannot harm the wolves, that they want to trap them and put collars on them so they can track their movements. We live out in the country, but we are in between 2 large central Wisconsin towns. It's 6 miles each way. You've got a large population. We don't have big plots of wooded land around here. We've got a lot of grain, we've got a lot of forage, we've got a lot of vegetables. And we've got 40-acre pieces of woods, 20-acre pieces of woods, and we've got wolf populations and problems. We are just about 4 miles away from prairie chicken land. I've seen tracks in that area, and it's been confirmed through the biologists that there are 2 other packs that are right in my area. When my wife and grandkids and children used to go out and walk around the woods. We can't do that anymore. They don't feel safe. If I go out there, I am armed. But I was told by the DNR that I cannot touch this wolf population. They don't want to do anything about it. They don't want to eradicate. They just want to monitor. I have no problem with wolves in nature. I think they're beautiful animals. But just like everything else in nature, it needs to be held in check. There's a place for everything and for everybody. And when it starts to affect my work and my pocketbook and my animals, it makes me angry.